Welcome to Strength Series with Jay. This show is about one thing, getting you strong. So join me as I lead you through 12 progressive workouts that will have you overcoming the impossible in no time. Welcome to Strength Series with Jay. Today is our last workout to prep you for kettlebell swings, chin-ups, and Turkish get-ups. So we're gonna get jumped in right away. Lori's gonna set up and we're gonna do a deadlift. And this is, like I said, the last exercise, sort of get that movement and get all the right muscles firing for your swings later. So with the kettlebell, you can't see it from there, but she's lined up so that that handle is right in line with her ankles. You're gonna start belly tight, up nice and tall just to set your position. And then we're gonna do a hip hinge like we did last week, just loading up your hamstrings, your glutes, and trying to drive that tailbone way back. Inevitably, you're gonna get to a spot where you can't reach the kettlebell, and that's where I want you to bend at the knees a bit more, taking those hips back, get a good grip on the kettlebell, shorten through your lats or your armpits, squeeze your bum, and come up. Nice. So we're gonna do that 6 times. If you think of a couple things, I want you to think of not moving through your spine at all. So you can see Lori is not flexed at her spine, and she's also not hyperextending at the top. And the second thing I want you to think of is this tension in your hamstring. So as you sit back and decide to squat down, you should not lose that tension. So a bad rep would be loading up your hips and hamstrings to about here and then slackening your whole system to come down. Lori's not really doing that. She's keeping tension through her hamstrings. That's good, Lori. So again, 6 reps, then you can park the bell. This is where you can start to challenge your weight a little bit, as long as you look good doing it. That's good. In between, we're gonna take 2 minutes off, but you're gonna fill some of that time with a plank and a glute bridge. So Lori will set up for a plank. We're gonna change it a little bit. You can see Lori's got her elbows a little further than her shoulders, so she can't really rest on them that much. You're gonna form a nice straight line with your head, so maybe a bit straighter still, there you go. And think of pulling the ground towards you. So you're gonna hold that just for 6 breaths. So take one more big inhale, push all your air out. Let's say that's your 6th breath. And then in between, so again, that's just to sort of reestablish that position before we go back to the deadlift, that straight core engaged position. And now we'll just do a bit of glute activation. So hands can push into the ground, keep belly tight, squeeze your bum cheeks early, come up, hold for a second in a nice straight line, and then break just at the hips again. So if you think about it, lifting up this kettlebell is really similar to that motion. She's only moving through her hips, and she's trying to get her glutes to extend her hips through, not arching or curling her way down through her spine. Good. So again, 6 reps. You'll take the rest of the 2 minutes. This might take you 2 minutes, and then you'll come right back to the deadlift, and we're gonna do 4 rounds of that. You wanna show one more deadlift? Good. So pause at the bottom for 1 second. So if you think about it, this is kind of like the bridge in a way. You want to feel activated through your posterior chain, squeeze tight and drive forward. Good. And back down, and that's good. You can video yourself on this one and just make sure you don't see an arch through your back as you pick it up, because it means you're using your back to lift it and you've not fired anything through your hips at all. So once we're done that, we're going to move to the rings. Our next exercise is called a ring row sit back. We're gonna use this to transition from all the rows we've been doing to doing chin-ups. So Lori's gonna set up here. It's gonna look very similar to our bridge row, which we've done before. Feet are gonna be somewhere under the rings. You want a nice high bridge, glutes tight, and it's like 2 exercises in one. She's gonna do a row up, then break at the hips, sit back until you're completely vertical, hips all the way back, hips come back up again, and then lower. So we're gonna do a couple more to show you. You're gonna do 6. The whole idea is to get the rings as close as you can, get familiar with being at the top of a chin-up position, back to the row, and down. Let's try one more. Just to demo, hips go back. This should look like a perfect, ring chin-up, hips come back up, and lower yourself down. So again, you're gonna do 6 reps there. We're gonna go all the way to 6. And you should feel tall, rings low on your body, as close to your body as you can through the whole movement. Good. After that, you're gonna take a minute recovery. That'll be just enough time to probably set up the rings for push-ups. And we're gonna progress your ring push-ups to being right on the ground. If this still feels a little too hard, feel free to walk it out. But for this week, I want you to try to be as close to the ground as possible. And so there we go. So let's set up for the ring push-up. So we'll pretend Lori's taking a minute off. She's gonna set up in a good, nice plank, head straight, keeping palms facing each other, perfect. And moving through her shoulder blades to do the push-up. You can see there's no buckling. There shouldn't be any buckling at the torso whatsoever. She's pulling her shoulder blades together, opening her chest to come down. Nice work. And let's just do one more. And when you finish that rep, I want you to really push through the rings, try to get your whole body up to the sky. Good, and relax. So again, we're gonna take a minute in between every exercise, and we're gonna do that back and forth until we've done each 4 times. Once you're done that, you're gonna move on to your next pairing, which is called a ring fallout, and then a reverse lunge. So she's gonna set up again for a fallout. It's gonna be like doing a plank on your knees. So first you wanna establish a good plank position. Everything here is straight with Lori. You're gonna keep your ribs into your body, and I want you to reach out as far as you can and pull back in. Good, and you can see she doesn't break at the hips anymore. She's staying locked in a straight line and just increasing that lever arm. I like to exhale fully as I reach out to keep my abs engaged and ribs down. And this one we're gonna do for 6 reps as well. Nice work. And so we're just gonna show a bad one here. One thing you wanna make sure you don't do is crease at the hips and stick your bum back and make a little L. So you gotta make sure as soon as your shoulders, hips, and knees are in one straight line, you lock everything down, leave it that way, and increase the lever. That's good, Lori. All right, once you're done that for 6 reps, we're gonna move on to a reverse lunge, and now what we're gonna do for 6 reps as well. To begin our reverse lunge, we're gonna take 2 kettlebells, and we're gonna set up as if we're in a plank position. So Lori's gonna be really tight and short through her front, really long through the back, and we're gonna do a reverse lunge all on one leg 6 times before switching. So she's gonna sit back into that hip. You can see she's not tilted too far forward, but she's also not scissoring her way up. I want you to think of driving through this mid-foot heel, using that hip glute to propel yourself forward. So you're gonna do that 6 times, controlled on the way down, push hard through the ground, zip up tall. So we'll see it on the other side. Good. When she's stepping back, there's very little weight actually on the back leg. It's enough just to keep you balanced, but really there's lots of pressure on that front foot, again in the midfoot and heel, and you think of exploding forward into your next step. Nice work. It's good. So again, we'll do that 6 times each leg. Do one leg entirely before you move on, and we'll take 30 seconds between this and the fallouts. Once you've done 3 rounds of each, we're gonna move to our stretch on the rings, and we're gonna get ready to get into that overhead position again. Okay, once you've completed your workout, we're gonna finish with some stretches. Like I said, this is gonna open up your side and get you ready to go overhead for next week. So the ring's gonna be set up around head height, just above that. You're gonna grab it and lean away from it, taking that same side. So Lori's got it in her left hand. She'll put her left leg back and just kind of lean into this whole line along here. Some things to note with all these stretches, I want them to be active. You're trying to build some strength and control here. So get a good grip. Feel like you're supporting yourself here. You're not just hanging. Rib cage is down, abs activated, and you should just feel a nice stretch along this whole line. Once you're supported, you can do really small rotations where you just rotate your ribs one way or the other way just to change the angle a little bit. All under that tension though, and make sure you can deep breathe. So you're gonna hold this for about 60 seconds. You can stop early, you can do 40 seconds if it's a bit much. Once you're done that, you're gonna do the other side, and we're gonna do that twice before we're finished. So if you wanna demo the other side really quick. Good, same side goes back. Ribs activated. Lori's got a good grip. Her arm is straight, and you're gonna feel tension and contraction the whole time through that whole line. Nice, Lori. So that's it for today. We'll catch you next week.